Hello and welcome to Medill Sports Talk, where we discuss all things related to sports. I'm Alex Campbell.
And I'm Nicholas Hennion, and this is Champions Chat, where we bring you up to speed on all things Champions League. The first legs for the round of 16 have been completed, and we're a week away from the second legs of some incredibly exciting ties. We begin today with arguably the biggest surprise of the first match day. PSG managed to knock off red-hot Manchester United without both Neymar and Edinson Cavani, and now head to Paris with this tie firmly in control. It was the first loss for Man U under caretaker manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer following 11-game unbeaten streak. Alex, United is already going to be without Paul Pogba for the reverse leg. Do they have any chance to come back? And who's the key for them doing so?
Well, Pogba's certainly a big loss, Nick. He's got 14 goals and 9 assists in all competitions this year. And more importantly, Man United have just a ton of injuries. Marcus Rashford, Anthony Martial, Jesse Lingard, Ander Herrera, Nemanja Matic, and Juan Mata might all potentially not be able to play in this second leg. So Alexis Sanchez, who hasn't played a whole lot, he's really got to step up in this leg, as do young midfielders like Scott McTominay and Andreas Pereira, who don't have much experience themselves. What's
the chances United advance here?
I think it's low. I think PSG getting those 2 big away goals at Old Trafford in the first leg is going to prove pivotal. I think the Red Devils score in this game, but I don't think it's going to be enough. So, we'll have to see how it pans out.
Well, absolutely. It'll definitely be something to watch over at PSG come next week.
Yeah, big matchup coming in Paris. Now, looking at Paul Pogba's former team, Juventus, the situation doesn't appear to be any better. The Italian Giants fell to Atletico Madrid 2-0 at the Wanda Metropolitano last Wednesday, and now Cristiano Ronaldo and company could potentially be out of the Champions League after making the final in 2 of the last 5 years. So, Nick, CR7 has been Atletico's kryptonite in the Champions League, and is this the year that he can finally best Diego Simeone's side?
I don't think so. I think Diego Simeone has a good game plan here, and we have to go right to the suspensions. Atletico is going to be without Thomas Partey and Diego Costa in this one, while Juve is going to be without left back Alex Sandro. That arguably favors Atletico because they're going to bring in guys like Thomas Lemar, Angel Correa, Alvaro Morata, and when those guys came on in the first leg, that's when they started to play their best soccer. Obviously, they grabbed 2 goals from defenders, but Juve, Alex Sandro is going to be out. Matteo De Siglia is going to move over to left back. João Cancelo is going to be in there. And I think Antoine Griezmann and company really going to have a field day. And all the pressure is on Juventus here. They have to get a goal to prove that Cristiano was worth the money. So I think we'll see Atletico advance here.
Absolutely, and Juventus haven't lost at this stage since 2016, so the pressure is certainly on.
Well, in other kryptonite-related news, Jurgen Klopp continues to struggle against Bayern Munich. Klopp is now 9-5-16 against Bayern, and he led Liverpool to a 0-0 draw at Anfield last week. So they're going to have to go to the Allianz Arena after making the Champions League final last season, and really, they need a win to advance. There is no other outcome where Liverpool doesn't go through. So, Alex, Bayern has struggled with its consistency all season, but who's feeling better heading into the reverse leg?
Well, on the face of it, Nick, I think the gut answer has to be Bayern Munich because they're playing this second leg at home. But I think that might be glosses over Liverpool's perspective. Last game, they played with a defensive combination of Joel Matip and Fabinho, 2 unusual starters in that position. Star center back Virgil van Dijk is going to be back for this second leg matchup, and I think that could have a really big impact. But the bigger story for Liverpool right now is their front 3 of Mohamed Salah, Roberto Firmino, and Sadio Mane, who were electric last season, especially in the Champions League. They can't remember where the goal is and how to score. And Nick, if Liverpool can't get goals on the board, they're dead in the water anyway here against Bayern.
So Bayern, of course, is going to be without Thomas Muller in this one. How does that affect their matchup going forward?
I think luckily Bayern has the squad flexibility in order to adjust to that, and I've got the Bavarians advancing despite Muller's absence. So, in addition to Liverpool-Bayern, last Tuesday produced another 0-0 match, but this one was a tad more surprising. Despite allowing 25 shots, French side Lyon held Spanish powerhouse Barcelona to a goalless draw. Lyon, having never beat Barcelona in the Champions League ever, will now look to complete a monumental upset at Barcelona's legendary home of the Camp Nou. Nick, what has to happen for Lyon to go into Barcelona and shock the Blaugrana?
The short answer is a lot. Like, Lyon is absolutely not favored to advance here. We should put that on the record. But they're going to get Nabil Fekir back from suspension after not having him in the first leg. That's really going to give them a boost in the midfield, and look for him and Memphis Depay to link up a lot as they did in the group stage. Lyon can absolutely advance. We should note that they've beaten Manchester City and PSG this season, so they have the talent there, but I think that they need to grab the first goal. That's crucial. They need to get an away goal here.
Right, and something we should know, kind of like I mentioned with Juventus, Barcelona haven't gone out this early in the Champions League since 2007. They always get deep into the tournament, so I don't think we should underestimate that history.
Absolutely, but these weren't the only games to grace the Champions League stage. 4 more matches: Spurs, Dortmund, Real Madrid, Ajax, Man City, Schalke, and Roma, Porto, all appear to be less dramatic in terms of predicting the final outcome. Spurs dispatched Dortmund 3-0 at home, Real defeated Ajax 2-1 away from home, City overcame a red card to beat Schalke 3-2, and Roma eked out a 2-1 win against Porto. While it's too early to rule out any potential comebacks, with the exception being Roma-Porto, these matches feel safely tucked away. But Alex, which of these matches will you be watching come the second leg?
You know, I've got to go with maybe the hottest team in England right now, and that's Manchester City, who beat Schalke 3-2 in Germany in the first leg. I mean, yes, City scored 3 away goals, and that feels like a tremendous advantage heading back to Manchester, but Schalke were up 2-0 in the first leg and showed that they were able to get a leg up on Manchester City. Yes, both of those first 2 goals were penalties by Nabil Bentaleb, but still, Schalke showed that they could keep Manchester City out for 70-odd minutes of that first leg before they did defensively collapse. A key I think we have to look at, Nick, young American international Weston McKennie, who Schalke deploy all over the field, could be a key to holding things together defensively if Schalke are able to get the goals they need to advance past City.
For you, what are the chances Schalke pulls off the monumental upset here?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably only 5 or 10% to really see that. I really don't think City are going to let this one go, but I think it's going to be tight and interesting to watch.
Well, so I hear your logic here, but you're wrong. It's this match right here. It's Real Madrid against Ajax. Real have struggled at home this season, and you could arguably say that Ajax was the better team in the first leg. Real basically saved by a Marco Asensio late goal. Real have lost against Levante, Girona, Real Sociedad at home this season. That is not reassuring for them. There's a lot of young talent on Ajax, and they basically they can play so freely here. So I think they can definitely pull off the upset here. That'll be a match to watch.
And it's a big chance for Ajax with the young talent they have. Well, it looks like that's all the time we have here on Champions Chat. Coming up next, Louis Ricard and Andre Turan are back with another edition of On the Block. Stick around. You're watching Medill Sports Talk.